What's up guys, JivanTV back with another video. You guys have been asking for the Fortnite Nerd series back, and so I'm kicking it off with this video. Everybody's got their own fears, you know? Whether it be a fear of heights, a fear of failing, a fear of bugs, talking to your crush, whatever it is. We all got at least one, and I'm gonna try to give you some advice on how to face those fears. But we're gonna start it out with a story. Way back in the day, my family always went to amusement parks, and all my siblings, including my younger brother who was barely tall enough to ride roller coasters, would just be rocking roller coaster after roller coaster. And then there was me, and I was just chilling on the sidelines, afraid of heights. I hated it. Well, one day we moved across the country. I had to start my whole life over. I met some new friends, and we ended up going to Six Flags. It was still my biggest fear. I was like 12 at this point, but I knew we were going to be riding roller coasters, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do yet, but I said, screw it, I'm going to go. And so when we got there, they immediately went to the biggest roller coaster. And I was like, oh snap, bro. No way I'm going on that. But because I was there with my boys, like, it wasn't as scary. But as soon as we got in, they were literally just sprinting to one of the scariest ones. It was like the only one that just did flip after flip. It was literally a wild ride. And so when we got there, I was like, oh snap, I don't know about this, man. But they were like, come on. And I was like, all right. But as soon as we got strapped into the roller coaster, bro, I felt like I was gonna faint. Like, we started going up, up, up. And I'll tell you, I never clenched my teeth so tight in my life. I just like stepped out of my body for a solid 3 minutes. And then I returned to my body afterwards and didn't even remember what happened. And they were all looking at me. They were like, yo, how'd you like it? And I was like, bro, I don't even remember going on it. But I had faced my fear. I was like, okay, I did it once before. I didn't die. Let's go again. Second time, I was clenched up the whole time again, but I was chilling with it. From that moment on, I freaking loved roller coasters, and I was a thrill seeker. Literally, after we got off that ride, we went across the park to the biggest roller coaster there. It was the biggest roller coaster in the entire world at the moment. It was called King Ka. So this roller coaster, it would just literally like slowly just go straight forward. It wouldn't go up or anything. It just went straight forward. Then it locked in place on a straight path to a straight shoot up into the air type thing. And so you would just be sitting there and you didn't know when it was going to launch. There was like no counting. It was just pure like terror in the air, especially for me, since this was my second roller coaster ever after having a lifetime fear of roller coasters. But dude, that thing just randomly shot. It was a straight path, just straight forward, and then it just went straight vertical all the way up into the sky. And then it would just slowly go over the top. You'd be on top of the world, and then it would go straight down and do twists and stuff on the way down. It was fun, bro. We went on it again, and I went front row. So let's see, what would I rate this experience? Truth be told, I kind of unlocked a new part of my life by going through this. Even though it was scary in the moment, I'm glad that I pushed myself through and faced my fear, and the reason is, I unlocked a new part of myself. After that, I was just obsessed with like thrill-seeking type things like, you know, surfing, skateboarding, I want to go skydiving, mountain climbing, all sorts of stuff, dude. I learned so much about myself by facing that fear. I was always afraid of heights, but after that, I got over that entire fear of heights. I'll tell you, there's literally no better feeling than facing your fears. After that, I got into rock climbing. I would go rock climbing like every single day for a solid year or two. And I definitely would have never gotten into that if I didn't face that fear in the moment. If you have a fear and you have friends, get your friends with you when you face your fear. Then you just gotta go for it, man. If you face your fears, you can unlock a whole new part of yourself. But that's not the only fear I had. I still have another fear that's still with me today. It's not as bad today, but back in the day, I was always low-key scared of bugs. I was playing a tennis tournament once and a literal huge wasp just landed on my elbow in the middle of the match and would knock it off. I literally started smacking my arm with my tennis racket, and then I just full-on sprinted around the tennis court because it was chasing me. I was like, bro, get away. But I was like always low-key afraid of bees and wasps and all that stuff. But this just heightened it. Not that, but this. One day I was mowing my lawn and there was a random hole in the ground while I was mowing, but I was like listening to music, just vibing, just going with it. And I saw a bunch of flies flying around this hole in the ground. And so I stopped like 2 feet in front of it. I was like, what is that over there? Why are there a bunch of flies? Well, something you should know, flies don't really gather like that, unless it's around a light or something. So I got closer, I inspected the fly hole with my eye holes. And that's when I realized they were a bunch of baby bees. And baby bees are a lot more aggressive than grown-up bees. So a bunch of baby bees are just flying around this hole. Turns out their nest is inside that hole, and I was standing right next to it. And then all of a sudden I feel a big pinch in my leg. I realize I got stung. I look down. There's like 20 to 50 bees just crawling up and down my legs. I took off running, bro. I went all the way around my house, just sprinting, but they would not get off my legs, bro. Luckily, that was the only one bee that stung me, but the rest of them just like stayed on me for some weird reason. You'd think they'd want to get back to their nest, man. Nope, they just wanted to see me suffer. So that heightened my fear of bees for sure. But the way I've kind of gotten used to this is just kind of trying to see it in a new light. If you're afraid of bugs, you just gotta realize they're living their life, you're living your life. It's two separate worlds that aren't gonna clash unless if you start a conflict. Like if you see a wasp and you put on some boxing gloves, then maybe they might attack. But overall, you just gotta pretend they're not there. Just know they're doing their wasp thing, you're doing your human thing. Live in two different worlds. But yeah, that bee story, dude. My God, that was the worst. Now you might be wondering, hey, Jivan, you ever get scared talking to girls? Well, I actually brought this up to one of my buddies. Like, he would go up to any girl and say anything to them. Like, literally, he would say the weirdest stuff, and it would just work because he goes up confidently. So I was like, bro, how the heck do you just say all this stuff to girls? And he just said basically the more you talk to people, the less nervous you're gonna get. If you don't talk to new people for like a year or two, it's gonna be harder, but you just have to get out of your comfort zone, do it over and over again, and eventually it'll just become normal. This was way back in like middle school when I had just moved across the country, so I was kind of nervous meeting new people, but he helped me out by saying that. So I just started talking to a bunch of new people. I made so many friends in this new place, and it was good. Another thing you gotta realize, like if you're scared to talk to new people, I've had social anxiety in the past, and like, you know, that kind of always is just like in your head. Everybody has different levels of social anxiety, whether it be just a little bit of nervousness or just full on dead on fear, you know? There was a time it came out of nowhere, like a random event just kind of sparked it in me. I would get nervous to talk to anybody for no reason. But something that I realized is just that we're all the same, man. We kind of forget to think like this. Literally, each of us were just spawned into this world. We each are trying to meet friends. We're each trying to find happiness. We're each working towards goals. We're all the same in that sense. And a lot of people misconceive that when you talk to new people, it shouldn't be, oh, I'm trying to impress them, I want them to like me. It should just be like, oh, you're meeting somebody else in the world on the same path as you. Maybe you'll click, maybe you won't. Either way, it's worth a shot. If they're into stuff that you're into, talk about that. When you're talking to people, you should talk about stuff that you're into. And, you know, ask about them, obviously. But if you guys have completely different interests and don't vibe, it's not the end of the world. There's a billion other people. But that's something that helped me overcome social anxiety, like just realizing that we're all the same, we all have similar goals, and the whole point of talking to someone new isn't to impress them, it's to relate to them. The whole point of friends is to help each other become a better person. So when you're talking to a new person, there's no reason to be scared, you should be excited to see what kind of person they are. Maybe you'll click and become best friends and help each other become better people. Or maybe you don't click and you just go your separate ways, but you had a nice encounter with a new person. Or they're a butt munch and you never talk to them again and you don't care because they're a butt munch. Those are the three possible interactions, and the last one hardly ever happens. If you're friendly with other people, they'll be friendly back. That's just the general rule of thumb. And if you have a crush on somebody, and you've had a crush on them for so long but you're too scared to talk to them, just know that nothing is going to happen if you don't approach them. Just go up to them, say hey, learn about them, see what their interests are. Maybe after that, you're not even interested in them anymore. Try to build that connection, and if there's no connection there, so be it. But if you never talk to them, nothing's ever gonna happen. So just do it. Just go say hi. Go say, hey, how are ya? Say, oh, do you like basket weaving? I really like basket weaving. Do you have a bike? Oh, I have a bike. Just kidding. Don't say that stuff. But just go talk to them, figure out what they like, see if you guys like the same stuff, see if you guys vibe. Just do it, man. Face your fears, because the only thing that can come from it is good stuff. Unless if you're like afraid of something dangerous, then chill. But anyways, hopefully you guys liked this video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, use code JivanTV in the item shop, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.